Good morning, YouTube. I'm sorry we didn't make a video yesterday. Yesterday, Dad and Brock and I went to the Ohio Farm Science Review, and it was a good show. We had a great time. We had a lot of things we wanted to see, a lot of companies we wanted to talk to. It took a lot of time. We were there from 10 a.m. until 6. We were there well after the show closed. I started to film some, and then just it got to be too much, and I set the camera down. So I apologize for that. However, I did get some really cool footage of something that we're going to throw in the video right here. Check this out. All right, so I've done a really terrible job filming at the Farm Science Review. I kind of gave up on it and just decided not to really make a video. But we're to the end of the day here. We made it out to the field trials, and they're actually all shut down. We did find something very cool here, though, that I'm going to get a private demo of because, well, it turns out I have an opportunity to buy one of these things, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we might have to do some recalculating on buying a sprayer, maybe. I don't know. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Let's talk about it. So this is a 360 Rain, and it is a direct replacement for our hard hose Traveler for irrigation. So basically you hook that hose up to your water source, whatever it may be. In our case, surface water out of a river. We'll have to put pipe in a riser somewhere, and then it autonomously waters the fields from there. And they've got a demo going on here, but it's got these drops. The water comes right down on the row and waters just a narrow band. It will go out watering on the wings, comes back watering in the center, and maybe still some on the wings, I'm not sure exactly. And it can cover 160 acres in a week, and it's just like, this thing would solve a lot of my irrigation headaches. So they're gonna come show us it running, and I'm pretty excited to see this. But I'll show you. So they've got some dye in their water so that we can kind of see the pattern a little bit and stuff. You can see where they've been running it out here. But if I go out and show you, you can see how it just puts a strip kind of right on the row, more so, instead of watering the whole soil profile or just watering that root zone. It's more efficient that way, so that you don't have to put quite as much water on per acre, and you still get the benefit out of it. I think this thing is very cool, and I'm pretty excited about this opportunity. But I'm trying not to show too much excitement because they're already expensive. So power pushes the hose out to kind of lay it right perfect, so it's not dragging and knocking over a bunch of corn as it makes its turn. This thing is cool. This thing is very cool. We'll watch it get lined up, and then it should turn on.
Or the manure bucket, and then also the dispenser, and then hydraulics on the dispenser going back and forth, hydraulics up top changing flow, hydraulics on the steering.
So you can see it's splitting it, and it's watering right down on that row. We're not running any dye right now, but it's keeping the water there, and I can walk in the center here, and it's not muddy. And they've been running this pass over and over all day today, so it's probably getting quite a bit wetter, but essentially putting down a ½ inch of water right on the row there. So it has turned around, and it's coming back now, and instead of watering the outside passes, it's watering the inside, and I'm standing out in the corn just so we can see how these drops come through here. I mean, that is pretty dang cool. Wow. So these other nozzles are on the front, or drops, or whatever you want to call them, diffusers. The idea is that the tires are not running through mud or wet ground ever. Now they're making pass after pass in the same spot here, so it's not having a week to dry out in between, so the tires are starting to get a little muddy, but still. That was indeed cool.
First time I've seen it run.
It's the first time I've seen it run. Now, I cannot sit here and guarantee you that one of those is going to be on our farm next year. But it appears that I have the opportunity to get my hands on one, and we are going to look at it very, very seriously. We've got some number crunching to do. That thing is not cheap. It is not cheap at all. But I think we have the perfect fit for it, and if anybody can justify it, I think we can. So we'll take a look at that. This morning, we've got a John Deere tech heading to our Berkey farm to do software updates on a combine. I've also got a wheat customer that gets this one bulk bag between here and there. So we're gonna take it with us and probably drop it off on the way back because he wasn't around first thing this morning, and I gotta get down there anyway. So that's fine, but that's the plan for this morning. Go down there and make sure that our combine and our grain cart are working and going to do what we need them to do, and then we gotta get back here because I got a meeting here this afternoon and more stuff going on. So let's get to it. All right, we made it down here to Berkey. Phil has been working on our air seeder the last couple of days, getting it ready to plant wheat. I really don't think there is that much to be done to it, but he's pretty particular and likes to go through things with a fine-tooth comb, and that is fine. We know it will work when we get to it. So we got to get the combine opened up, or the door opened up, and get the combine out here. The tech's not here yet, but should be pretty soon. He had farther to go than I did. The other day, Dad drove the old black truck down here and realized that he didn't have any brakes. Brake lines were all rusted out, lost all the fluid, so my Uncle Jack's been going through and putting all new brake lines on, fixing that, put new calipers, new brake pads, all the stuff to make it work like it's supposed to. So, you know, the old Chevy is about as good as new. And Dad's convinced that it's time to move on. So I don't know, that one may be for sale pretty soon. All right, our John Deere tech is here. He's reprogramming software. Dad got down here. He's tiling. He's working on that stuff. I'll check that out a little bit later. But he tells me that when Phil was trying to get the air seeder hooked up here, our number one outlet, SCV outlet there, there's some seals coming out of it. Couldn't get the hoses plugged in. So we're gonna fix that and show you how it's done. Gosh dang it. All right, so if you look inside there, you can see there's a seal that's coming out. That's our problem. So we've got to replace the barrel, or at least replace the seals. But there's this cover here that comes off. There's 3 screws. This is the last one, and that comes off. Try not to lose it. Okay. Now there's a snap ring in there. We need a little screwdriver to dig it out, and then that barrel will pop out, and we pop a new one in, and it's a super easy fix. There's our snap ring. So now when I do this, the whole barrel pops out. I'm gonna get our new one opened up. We're gonna swap them real fast. I don't think we'll lose a lot of oil, but there's oil dripping, so let's try not to do it too long. All right, so I've got our new coupler in over here, and I can't quite get the snap ring in. We need to seat it a little bit better. So I've got a socket that fits just inside there. We're gonna tap on it and hopefully tap it into place. Didn't take much, but we got it just far enough that now the snap ring will fit into the groove, and it's gonna require 2 hands, but we'll get it in there. All right, well, while we were there, I went ahead and replaced the other one. I'm gonna get some brake cleaner and just clean them up a little bit, and then we'll throw the cover back on, and that will be good. All right, so this project is done. The software updates are still progressing slowly, kind of, sort of. And we're gonna go out here and see. When Phil had to move the 8RX the other day, it wouldn't start, so he had to put the charger on it and let it ran for a long time to charge, which is not my favorite thing, but it's okay. I'm just gonna go look at stuff out here and see if everything seems to be how it's supposed to be. I should have him update the software on this while we're at it. We were having some latency issues with the machine sync in wheat harvest, and it would be nice to get that addressed. I don't know if software updates on the combine are going to cause issues not having the right software on the tractor. It's entirely possible. We might have to update everything, which will then throw the planter off in the spring too, so that's fun. Well, it fired right up, so the battery is charged. That's good. So while I'm out here, I decided to check for some software updates on this and ran through a few for the displays. Now we're checking for other device software updates. In the meantime, we we stuff done on the combine, and it appears that our cameras are working. At least I can view them and see that it looks like stuff is good. So we might get the combine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite ready to get it out. We should get it out and run everything, hook the head up, and make sure that it's working. But it is 10:42. I have a meeting I have to be back to Waldron for right after lunch, so I probably don't have time to do that today. Yeah, so we'll come down Monday morning probably and work on that kind of stuff, because it is not to the point where our beans are ready yet. We're gonna have a little bit of time, especially if we have a morning, and everything was working fine minus the cameras when we were doing wheat, so it should be in good shape. All right, well, I went and grabbed an early lunch. Let's go deliver some wheat, get back from my afternoon meeting I've got. Phil came down, he's working on that air seeder. I don't know what all needs to be done to it. I didn't really ask that close. So Dad's working with the tile crew. Oh, they brought another load of tile while I was going getting lunch. How about that? Here's the bean fields. Close. They're not ready yet. We still got some yellow leaves down in there. But it will be next week. I can't say for sure it'll be Monday, but it will be next week, and we will be down here running beans. All right, I don't remember where we left off. Have I made it back yet? I made it back a while ago. I had my meeting. You guys will find more out about this later, I suppose. Anyway, I need to run to the bank. I have a couple of errands to run, drop off a seed bill to a customer, and then we're going to come back and see what's going on. Brock got done ripping in the field that we had started the other day. We've got a little bit more of that we can do, so we might do that here this afternoon when I get back. I need to mow lawn. I got other stuff to do, so I don't know. We'll see. I thought there was a check waiting for me on my table here. There's not. That's okay. I still need to go to the bank. I am driving past our double crop bean field, and I haven't checked them in a minute, so I thought let's get out and see what our double croppers look like. They look fantastic, if you ask me. Heck, they're as tall as some of the first crop planted beans, knee high here. We got pods, we got pods, we got pods. Look at the pods. Oh, they're fantastic. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to have some double crop beans this year. They got a long ways to go yet, right? Those pods are flat. They're not very thick. So we don't need a frost anytime soon, but it is still warm. Like, we are getting sunlight, and I'm happy. Those are 40 bushel beans all day. And for double crop for us, that is fantastic. These might be the best double crops we have ever raised. Maybe. We'll see. We got a long ways to go yet. We can't be getting any frost anytime soon, but there's none in the forecast. We got little pods there yet. We've got bigger ones, we've got smaller ones, we've got a long ways to go, but we've got pods, and I'm really happy with the look of these double crop beans. We've got 4 bean pods. Oh, it's so good. So good. These look great. All right, we made another stop here on our way back to the farm. This is what I'm pretty sure is going to be our first harvested corn, because it's 104 day that was planted, I believe, the 13th of April. It's also a very short hybrid, just the way that this one is. So, wanted to look at it, see what we've got. We are seeing some tar spot on these leaves. It's there, little black specks. It's not super severe, but definitely there. Too late to matter at this point. Here we've got a northern corn leaf blight lesion right here. So, and you can see these plants are just generally, they're drying up. They're definitely in the senescence phase of, they're done. So we did spray fungicide out here, and I think it held the disease off long enough for this corn to finish and to do okay. But we're still seeing some. So let's pull an ear or two and see if we're black layered one and how they look. Well, those ears look really good. I didn't really cherry pick the best ones. I mean, one came from right there. It's not a skip or anything. And this ear's just like it. That ear's just that. The stand may not be perfect out here, but I don't think it's terrible. And those are pretty darn nice ears. This is not typically one of our better farms. It's typically one of our worst farms, in fact. So I don't expect it to be great corn out here, but encouraged looking at these ears. The one does have a little bit of mold starting there, a bad kernel or something. Hopefully that's not something that becomes super prevalent for us. That's kind of there's two big risks that we have left in our corn crop. One is ear molds and getting vomitoxin or some quality issues in the grain yet, which can happen with late wet periods and disease and insect pressure. We don't really have a lot of insect pressure, but certainly if we got a bunch of rain right now and the corn sat there for a while, it could cause some ear mold issues. So we don't want that. The other big risk is stalks integrity and the corn actually going down. This hybrid, being that it is as short as it is, that's highly unlikely. So I'm not too worried about that. Now when I break the ear in half, we have no visible milk line to speak of, but I also don't see a black layer at the tip of that kernel. So we are very, very close to black layer. I mean, there may be a touch of a milk line right at the base of those kernels. But essentially, this corn is mature within a day or two of it, especially with the heat that we're getting right now. So that's good. It's probably 30 to 35% moisture, and we need it to get below 25% to harvest. Obviously, we've got our combine down to Berkey to do the beans down there. And we are not going to bring it back here to run beans or corn until we're done with the beans there, which should be next week, so not a big deal. So we're gonna get started with beans. By the time we get done with the beans at Berkey, we will have a field or two of beans here around our Waldron farm to run and finish. But if we get to that point and we have no more beans ready, mature, it's possible that we could shell this corn here. I would say at the very earliest to get started on corn, we're looking at 1st of October, first week of October, somewhere in there. I don't know what the dates would be of the Monday, like a week and a half out, but somewhere in that ballpark. Depends on when we get started with beans down to Berkey next week. If that happens Monday or Tuesday, we can run them all in 2 days. It won't take very long. And then we get up here and we can run, those couple of fields of beans. We've got maybe 150 acres that would be close to being ready to go, and then we can get to that corn, maybe. So I don't know, we'll see, but it would be nice to get into some and see how everything's gonna be. I was sorting through the haul from the farm show yesterday and all of the things that we looked at. 28 applicators for reasons to be discussed in the future. Gooseneck trailers, we got all kinds of brands of those. Anybody got a recommendation? I really liked this one. This one's probably my favorite, Morwitz brand. I don't know where to buy one, but that was probably the favorite. Spray drones, maybe. Some fertilizer stuff, new power washers, we're kicking around that idea. Stainless steel tanks, kind of connected to that deal. Anyway, lots of stuff for us to go through. I have decided against doing any more tillage tonight. We really don't have much to do. The tile field out here, we can kind of go in and do some. We might get to that tomorrow. It's not real critical right now, but I need to mow lawn. So I'm gonna go do that, which is not real exciting for you guys. All right, well, that's enough for today. So we'll see what the plan is for tomorrow. I just talked to Dad on the phone. He wants to do the chiseling in the tile field. So don't just leave it for me. Okay, so we will not be doing that. I do have some seed business stuff that needs to be attended to. I might spend the morning or part of the day or all day or who knows out trying to go see some seed customers, drop off some quotes, try and lock some orders down, that kind of stuff that needs to happen. I should talk to my buddy about getting my man lift back up here so we can work on that a little bit. I don't know if that'd be a possibility for tomorrow or not, but we will find something to do and film it for you. So have a great night, and if you would, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd appreciate that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.